Hey, what's up you guys, it's Sophie, and today I'm going to be filming another NYU video. I've had already a lot of requests to film this based in the comments of my last NYU video, and I had a lot of people asking me questions and wanting me to make another video, so I think maybe I'll make this into sort of a series. Like, you guys can always leave me questions in the comments of my NYU videos, and I will try to answer them either in the comments or in a future video. So I'm just going to be addressing some of the things that people have asked me, starting with international student financial aid. So I know a lot of my viewers are international students. We have a really large international population. I'm pretty sure my grade, which has about 6,000 people, is about 20% international, which is really, really cool. And a lot of people in my comments were asking me, like, are you eligible for financial aid if you're international, and how does that work, and stuff like that. So first of all, it's really difficult, I believe, to get financial aid if you are an international student. NYU is incredibly expensive, and when you apply as a US citizen, you are need blind, which means that they don't take your family's financial situation into consideration when you apply. But when you apply as an international student, they are need aware, which means that you have to tell them all about your family's financial situation, because they do expect you to be able to pay. There are certain grants and scholarships based on academic merit that you can apply for. You have to apply for them before you apply to NYU. You can apply for them on the CSS profile, which if you just Google that, and you can Google like all about all the different forms that you have to fill out, you can be eligible for certain grants and scholarships depending on your situation. But I know this is a bit disappointing. Most of the time, international students are just expected to be able to pay the full tuition. Some people are also asking me to talk a little bit about acceptance. So international-wise, basically what I just said, even though they are need aware, obviously everything else they consider is the same as with US citizen acceptance, so they want you to have all, you know, the same kind of academic levels and stuff like that. Some people are asking me about my scores that you need to get in. So I can tell you my scores. That doesn't necessarily mean that if you have lower or higher than that, you are more or less likely to be accepted. Being accepted is based on a wide range of things, not just your scores. But people that were asking, so for my SAT score, I got a 2100 on the SATs. I actually didn't send in my SATs to NYU because you had the option to send your SATs or your ACTs, and I personally did better on my ACTs. Even though most people would think a 2100 is good, it's actually that I got a perfect score on the writing and I did really poor on the math section, so that like imbalance of scores I did not want to send. So instead I sent my ACT score, which I got a 34. It's out of 36. The SATs are out of 2400. So I got a 34 on the ACTs, and then I sent in that grade instead of my SATs. You also have the option to send in SAT 2 test scores. I don't think I sent any of mine, but you don't need them, so unless you did super well on them and they really reflect you, I would not send them. What other scores? My GPA in high school was a 98. It's out of 100 in my high school, which was really weird. I know people that had lower than that, you know, still got accepted. So in terms of other things for being accepted that aren't based on test scores, definitely tons of extracurriculars. But the thing about this is a really hard word to say, extracurriculars, I would say that they should probably reflect what you're interested in doing in your future. I don't think it's positive to do a lot of different extracurriculars that you may not be super interested in all of them, but you think that it's going to look good for college. All of my extracurriculars, for the most part, were sort of in the same general category of things, and I think it made a big impression that that's sort of the direction that I want to go with my future career and my college major and things like that. So I would definitely say try to narrow down your extracurriculars for things that you're really, really passionate about. So in high school, I was on the swim team all throughout high school, and I was the captain. Swimming is basically the only exercise I will do. I love swimming, and my dad was the captain of his swim team. We were both lifeguards, and it's just kind of runs in my family, I guess. So I love doing that, and of course it's great to show that you are, you know, well-rounded in terms of sports and other things. But if you're not interested in sports, of course, don't like force yourself to do sports. You should do things that you're interested in. I also was on the National Art Honor Society. I didn't have any sort of position in the board or anything because I didn't think I could handle it with my schedule, but I was just a member of the club. It's a club that does art and charity work, and it shows, you know, my passion for the arts. I was also in French club, which just I was just in it because basically I took French all throughout middle school and high school, and I was the president of a business club called DECA. My minor is actually going to be in business, so it kind of continued with that theme, and it was something that I was able to learn a lot in. I can definitely talk about the experiences a lot. I was able to travel with the club. It's something that I have a lot of experience with, so I would definitely say choose 1 or 2 clubs that you really want to, you know, be on a board of, or, you know, feel really passionate about, and really go for those. And, you know, it's okay to have a few other ones if you just want to be involved, but don't try to overwhelm yourself with a lot of things, but also try to be involved with things that you are interested in. I think the big thing other than extracurriculars and your grades are your essays. You have to write a main essay for the common application, and then you also have to write supplemental essays just specifically to NYU. So for my main essay, I wrote, you get to choose between, you know, all the different types of essays, and I chose the one like where is your happy place or something like that, and I actually chose in the pool. Honestly, that's not necessarily the place where I am like always happiest, but it was something that I was able to talk about that was a continuation throughout my life. It made for a more compelling story. I was able to use a lot of descriptive language. So even though I love being in the pool, it might not necessarily be my favorite place, but it was something that I had a lot to say about. So I definitely say to talk about something that is really important in your life, something that you can, you know, target in a lot of different aspects of your life, and something that is important to you and you're going to come across passionate. In terms of the supplements, it was mostly just like why NYU, why this major. I would definitely focus on your major specifically and certain classes that you want to take that are specific to NYU. Try to be as specific to NYU as possible, because a lot of people try to make them too generic to fit all the colleges so they don't have to write them over and over, but I would say the more specific the better. From people that I have heard from, it's definitely better to really focus on that school, what makes them different from other schools, and why that difference matters to you. I was asked Chuck a little bit about how I picked my major. So my major is Media, Culture, and Communication in the Steinhardt School. I absolutely love my major. Last semester I took a class about media studies, one about communication, writing, and I'm continuing sort of those sorts of classes. And then when you get a little bit more in depth, it gets, you know, a lot more detailed, and you get to choose 2 focuses, which I'm really excited about because those classes are really specific to what you like. And some people were asking how I picked that major. Basically, I've always been interested in fashion stuff, so I sort of wanted to go the fashion journalism route. At NYU, if you pick journalism, you have to double major, and it is in the College of Arts and Sciences, and that really didn't appeal to me. I also considered going into the Gallatin School, which is where you can make your own major, and I was going to do fashion journalism, but making your own major is a lot of work, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I wanted to keep the same like media aspects. Obviously I'm interested in YouTube, I'm interested in blogging, I'm interested in social media, so I wanted to keep that sort of digital aspect into my major, and it was recommended to me by a few people that maybe I should look into this major, Media, Culture, and Communication, and I ended up really loving it. I think it's a great fit. I think that if you are a little bit unsure of what you want to do, but you know you want to do something with media, with communications, with PR, with journalism, any of those sorts of things, I think that it's a great major. It really opens up into a lot of different job options. Yeah, that's sort of how I chose my major. I would recommend talking to people who are in NYU already, who might be doing what you're interested in. I would recommend looking up definitely different classes that come along with different majors. If you guys have any questions, I know people that are in other majors. A lot of my friends are in MCC with me, but all of my suite mates are in different schools. One of my suite mates is in Tisch for dance, one of them is in Stern for business, and one of them is in, my roommate is in CAS for biochemistry. So if you guys have questions on any of the other schools, I can ask them, and feel free to leave them in the comments, because obviously I'm an MCC major, so I'm not going to be able to apply to all of you, but that is a little bit about how I picked my major, and be sure to let me know in the comments if you have any questions about other schools or other majors. I can for sure ask around and get back to you. Leave all of your questions about NYU for a future video in the comments below, and if you guys did find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know if you are enjoying or find these types of videos helpful, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!